PodcastHero.com. Welcome to the Daily Quote, the podcast designed to kickstart your day in a positive way. I'm your host, Andrew McGivern, and this episode is brought to you by the Great News Podcast. Tired of all the doom and gloom news from mainstream media? You'll get none of that there. Instead, you'll find inspiring stories and developments making the world a better place. Where can you find it? The link is in the show notes. Today's quote comes from Iacocca, the man who created the Ford Mustang, one of my favorite cars, the original one anyways, and he was famously fired by Henry Ford II after 32 years with the company. And he then walked into a bankrupt Chrysler and turned it into one of the greatest corporate comebacks in American history. A man who built his entire career on the power of decisive action and under impossible pressure. He once said, "Even a correct decision is wrong when it was taken too late." Now, most of us were raised on the idea that the goal of decision-making is to get it right. Gather the information, weigh the options, consider every angle, and wait until you're sure. And then, and only then, decide what to do. Iacocca spent a lifetime showing why that instinct, taken too far, is its own kind of failure. He had a way of illustrating it that is kind of interesting. He used to talk about duck hunting. You can aim at a duck and get it in your sights, but the duck is always moving. In order to hit that duck, you have to move your gun ahead of where the duck is now. But a committee faced with a major decision can't always move as quickly as the events it's trying to respond to. By the time the committee is ready to shoot, the duck has flown away. That image is exactly what this quote is all about. The world does not pause while you deliberate. Markets are moving, opportunities close, relationships shift. The moment that was available to you yesterday may be gone tomorrow, not because the decision was wrong, but because the window for it had passed. Iacocca understood this because he lived it in one of the highest stakes business environments in history. When he arrived at Chrysler, the company was weeks from collapse. There was no time for endless analysis. Every day of inaction was a day the company moved closer to bankruptcy. The decisions he made weren't always perfect, but they were made. And making them in time was as important as making them correctly. He put it another way too. If we wait until we've satisfied all the uncertainties, it may be too late. Certainty is a luxury that real decisions rarely have. Waiting isn't prudence, it's paralysis dressed up as thoroughness. The question Iacocca is really asking is this: what is the cost of waiting? Because that cost is real. It just doesn't always announce itself as loudly as a wrong decision does. A bad decision makes noise. A delayed decision often just quietly closes a door you didn't notice shutting. I can look back at decisions I delayed far past the point when they needed to be made. Not because I didn't know what the right call was, but because I kept waiting until I felt more certain, more ready, more sure. And in almost every case, the delay cost more than any imperfection in the decision itself would have. Iacocca is right. Sometimes the timing is the decision. So here's the question: what decision have you been sitting on? One that you already know is probably right, but you're still waiting to make it. Because the duck is moving. The window that's open today may not be open tomorrow. And the most correct decision in the world, made too late, is no decision at all. You don't need certainty. You need courage, and you need a deadline. Decide before the duck flies. That's it for today. I'm Andrew McGivern, signing off for now. But I'll be back tomorrow. Same pod time, same pod station, with another daily quote.